Welcome back to another of my EVE Online videos. This time I will talk about the overview, a quite complex subject. But before doing so, let's have a little look at Pilot Show Info. You see my character is born on the 29th of January 2011, and today we are the 28th of January 2026. So tomorrow, when I will edit this video and publish it, my character will have its 15th anniversary. So back to the topic, the overview. So I have here an overview loaded. It's a standard overview from the game client. Now the overview allows you to see what you want to see and also determine what you don't want to see. It is of primary importance that you know what objects you want to see, because if you make mistakes there, you will by accident shoot the wrong player, or you might get shot at by someone you don't see. Right? Now, because the overview is very complex, I don't know of another game that has an overview as complex as the one in EVE Online. Many players revert to an overview from someone else. I have here the channel Live Shows, and within that channel you have Dragon's High-Sec Overview. So Marquee Dragon's High-Sec Overview. You can load this profile, yes, and that's the overview that he shares with the EVE community. And Marquee Dragon, a very known and respected EVE Online player and contributor. Now, you may have seen that the overview has changed with tabs in different colors, and each tab, when you right click on it, has a columns option, and in the columns here you can determine what information you want to see in that overview. You have icon, distance, name, type, tag, and corporation, plus velocity lit up, but I can, for example, say, I'll take this away and also untick this, and for example, angular velocity, transversal velocity, that kind of stuff. You can tick everything, but then your overview will be very wide and cover your entire screen. So you must make a selection according to the object that you want to see in that overview tab. Now, the objects that you see in the overview tab is determined by filters, right? So let's right click on it. You have here a filter and then a bracket filter. Now it looks complex at first sight, but a better way to understand the filter and the bracket filter is to go to the open overview settings. Yes, one major drawback of someone else's overview is the expansions in EVE Online. So with every expansion, you have new object or entities added to the game. Some are removed, and you have to make adjustments for every tab. But if you didn't create the overview yourself, it's a difficult task. It's not very enticing, right? So that's why I recommend that you create your own overview. That way you can easily remember how you set it up, what kind of corrections you have to make when new objects are added to the game, and maybe you can share it. but I won't share it. Yeah? In this video, I will give you a basic framework on how to set up and create your own overview. So we are here again in the overview settings. Remember, you find it by the 3 vertical points and then open overview settings. Now, in the tabs window, you have here a color. So there you can choose what color you want for each tab. For example, I want this to be pink. And you see Fleet is now pink. Customizable at your leisure. You also see the tab name. Yeah. And then 2 filters. Because that is the big trick with the overview. With the filters, you determine what you want to see and don't want to see. But EVE Online has in fact 2 overviews. So let's take it away. You have the first overview here, that's the overview window. But your game screen is also an overview. You see here an object. It's an Upwell Moon mining beacon, but a bit more to the right here. Customs office. Here, some structures, etc. So back to the settings. This filter is for the overview window. The bracket filter is for the game screen. Now, to show you an example, I will first of all remove a few tabs. Okay, you cannot remove the last one. There's always a overview or a overview tab that must be active. Let's create our own tab. So, tab name. I will call this tab All in EVE. No, not this. It's better All Overview. The filter, I just keep it for what it is. Just make sure that you have a tab name and that 2 filters are selected. Doesn't matter what. And then I can remove this one. So now I have only this All Overview with filters that I don't even know what it is. I can choose a color. Let's choose cyan. All right. Now, I want to have an overview that shows everything. So we must make a filter that shows everything. And you do that here in the filters tab. So here you have a list of all objects that exist in New Eden. And they are grouped per type. All the types of asteroids are grouped under asteroid. Now, it's quite simple. If you want to create a filter with all, you just say select all. Or if you want nothing, deselect all. So select all, and on each group you can also right click, deselect all, or select all. And we will save this. So we must find a name or set a name. Where is it? Yeah. Save as, because we will give it a new name. What was it? All overview. And to point out that it is a filter, I will add hyphen window, because this is the filter for the overview window, but you can name it any way you want. Now I also want a filter for the bracket. Yeah, everything. So I go back to filter, everything is selected. So the only thing I have to do is save as all overview bracket. And now I can select here what I want for the filters because I just created them. So the filter is all overview window, and this is all overview bracket. And maybe you have seen it on the right, but a lot more objects have appeared in the overview. It's quite overloaded with so many objects, but we can customize it and add labels and tags to it. So the entire tab, the tabs tab, is explained. So the filter name, 1, 2, and the tab name, the color, the filters as well. And then appearance. Or you have exceptions, sorry. Yeah. So entities with this state will be shown unless they have additional states that are filtered out. Now it's a special condition, but by default you keep everything ticked on the right. Now let's demonstrate how you can tweak this overview. Was a little bit too fast. So we go again to types. Now just suppose I don't want to see drones in my overview. So the window overview, no drones, but I want drones to be seen in the game screen window. So I select the filter that I want. This one I want to edit. Drone. Deselect all. Just save, because once you change something, it will show you not saved. But I'm in the right filter, so I can just save. Let's test this. I launch a few drones. And you see, the drones are in space, but not visible here in the all overview. So let's, and they are circling my ship. Now, if I want them to go away, well, simply go to the filters. But this time we will edit the bracket. Deselect all. And up, you see, even before saving, they are not visible, but they are still in space, because you see here in this window the drone overview, and when I hover above it you see the names. Let's see if I can look at it. Yeah, because those are tiny little objects, and yeah, this is a bit in my way, but you can clearly see the drone is still there. So let's recall them. Test is complete. You can also set things individually. Again, settings, deployables. I have a mobile tractor unit, but I forgot to bring it with me. Never mind. Okay, that's a bit my fault. I forgot to bring my mobile tractor unit. I have no cargo whatsoever because it's a drone boat. Anyway, what you can do is you can also select individually. So for example, in the deployables, I can say mobile tractor unit. So you can tick or untick individual objects. So if I were to launch now a mobile tractor unit and I'm here in the all overview dash window filter, the tractor unit will not appear in my overview, but it will be visible in space because I didn't change the all overview bracket for the mobile tractor unit. So with that being said, let's go to appearance, because you can give tags or assign tags to individual objects. Now, the color tags and background settings apply to ships and drones by default, but now there is no ship nor drone in space. But we have my drone. Alright, I have to make them visible again. Window. It's not the window, it's the bracket. Select all. You see here, with that blue and green box around them, that's the color tags. Yeah, they function a bit like labels. All right, use small color tags. First, I think it's better to see it or look at it in the window overview. Select all. All right, that's better. Small color tags. You see? So you see a green color tag, but because it's so small, some of the information is lost, because you have a little deadhead here, a minus, an equal sign, a text, a star. I prefer to not use the small color tags. Use small font. That is one of the biggest things in the overview. Use smaller fonts, because CCP, since the new graphic overhaul, I think 7-8 years ago or even longer, there is a lot of empty space in the overview and also in the interface. For example, the opportunity screen. I don't like it so much. I prefer really a compact overview, right? So I keep this active. Here you have the color tag and background settings apply to ships and drones by default. So let's pull in our drones again. Also apply to structures. Where is the structure? Normally you should have structures. Where is it? I think you have to log on and log off before you see the results, because there is a structure, section 31, align to. Where is it? Ah, now it appears. But for some reason, now it is here. I don't know why it was lagging a bit, but you see, this structure I assigned pilot has a good standing to it. So I know this is a structure owned by someone that I tagged as good standing. Now off. Also apply to other objects in space. Yes, I do this. For example, containers or mobile tractor units left behind by that pilot. You will also see what kind of color tag it has. So in this case, it will be from someone with a good standing. Now, the game client checks for these states. It only shows one state. but an object can have multiple states at once. For example, I can have someone in my fleet who is a criminal, but I gave a neutral standing to that pilot. Now, the game client checks from top to bottom. So once it finds a state that applies, the color tag is applied, and the game client looks no further for other states that may exist. This is important because the higher the color tag in this list, the more important its state is. Yeah, pilot is at war with your Cooperation Alliance. This has the highest priority because that is a threat to you at all times. And you see, the lower you go, let's say, the less important the tag becomes. Now, this one is blinking. This also, you cannot, you can toggle blink. Yeah. Didn't know that. But you see, you can choose to let it blink or not blink. But mostly pilots at war with my alliance or militia, I prefer them to blink. Here also, limited engagement, mostly it signifies a danger. But pilots that I give terrible standings to, I don't blink them. Right? You also have a background. So let's go back to that structure because it has a color tag. You see, it also has a background. Now it's because of the, it's very dark blue. Pilot has good standing. Let's change this to yellow. You see, it has changed. Now, for the background, personally, I don't tick pilot has no standing. Because I live most of the time in HiSec, I don't need this tag on pilots who have no standing. Yeah. Most people, or let's say all people that have no standing in HiSec, they are no threat to you unless it's someone who wants to gank you and you didn't give a standing to it before. Also with the color tags, normally I untick pilot has no standing, otherwise it becomes a bit overloaded with all these tags. The background, the same thing. Pilots with neutral standing, most of the time I don't use the background because otherwise your overview window will look a bit like a disco ball if you are in a fleet or in a system with a lot of pilots around you. But outside of HiSec, you will want to activate or tick pilot has a neutral standing and no standing because these are a possible threat to you outside of HiSec. Next, ships. That one is quite easy. If you have a ship on grid visible, you can choose here what you want to see from that ship. Yeah, mostly I don't include the ship name because this ship is called Domino, but I untick it. For me, the ship name is not of a real importance. But the corp ticker, align short name, ship type and pilot name, okay, I'm fine with that. You can also set bold, but for that you have to log off before you see the results. You can have italic and you have underline, maybe the size, I don't know. No. You have to log off. Maybe the color. Nope. Log off and log on. Right? Now, miscellaneous. You can export your settings. So an overview that you get from someone else is stored on the server. Yeah. But one that you save yourself is exported. File name. So, okay, here you have to select what you want to save. So the all overview bracket and the all overview window. And that's all that I want. All overview test. Export. And here you see where on your computer this overview is saved. It's saved as a .yaml file. You can import overview settings from files that you have saved on your computer. You see, I have 3 overviews now, but the one that we just created is here. What you can also do is reset all settings. Let's do this. So that sets the overview to the overview that you receive when you install your game client. So there is a default overview from CCP. That's the default overview. And then we have history, because in the history you have the last 15 overview profiles you have loaded. So in case you didn't save or you made a mistake with messed up an overview, no problem. Dragon's High-Sec overview, you can reload it. Alright, that's it for this video. I hope it was comprehensible and I hope it helps you to create your own overview